Do you have better relationships with younger guys or older guys?
Probably the younger ones, actually. Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I would say like the first relationship I was in, he was really, really controlling and jealous and chauvinistic, and
he was older.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would say,
Are you considered a cougar? Are you a cougar?
I mean, I wouldn't date like anyone who's not in their 30s.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, you said significantly older or younger than me, and you're 39.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean, that was in the
I'm
past.
thinking like some frat boys or something, you know,
No.
senior in
No,
college.
like, okay, I dated someone who was 7 years younger than me a while ago, but he was
Oh,
like
that's
a
not bad.
blues
That's
musician.
fine.
You know
That's
what I mean?
fine. That's
yeah,
not a.
so.
I think in your 30s, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
whatever. You also said you want to debunk the myth that men don't want to date moms.
Yeah.
And so you're a mom.
Yeah.
You said you have one kid, if I recall correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So please debunk the myth.
Yeah, it's just not true. I have no problem getting the men that I want. I mean,
you don't think. Go ahead.
It's like, it's weird. It's like, okay, well, I don't know if you guys know this, but I worked for like a search engine company.
Yahoo?
That does corn search engines. And
Bing?
the two most.
You work for Bing?
No, corn search engine company.
So Bing?
Pornography?
Yeah. Like, so they.
Okay, yeah.
Anyways,
okay.
other marketing companies in the corn industry.
Sure.
And so yeah, the top two most searched subjects on there are either like MILF or teen.
Yeah.
That chick's a MILF.
Yeah.
Yeah, under.
And lesbians.
No.
Are you not allowed to say
Yeah.
porn?
You
I mean, I just want to.
I mean, you just can't
I've
say
said
a
it.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
You can't say
if
great.
it's like the central focus
You
of
definitely
the
cannot
convo.
The
say
YouTube
Yeah.
bots will pick it up if you say it a lot, and
Yeah.
then you get flagged.
Okay, I was just
Word.
wondering.
Well, I mean, you don't think that there's certainly men out there, if you compare two options, that would probably prefer to date someone who doesn't have kids.
Yeah.
And I'd say the same for women. I'm sure most women who don't have kids would prefer to date a man who doesn't have kids. I think it's the same for both genders.
Yeah, I think there's some who will and some who won't. But it's not, because there's a lot of people who are like, oh, nobody's going to want you if you're a single mother and things like that.
You don't think it makes it harder?
I mean, for me, it doesn't seem
I
to
have a
make it harder.
question though. Are you talking about sex-wise or dating-wise, like relationship?
Yeah, like
So
dating
both?
wise.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's
Mhm.
interesting because a lot of time you hear that, it's hard for a single
Yeah.
woman to get boyfriends or,
I think it's just hard to find time to go on dates.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I mean,
There you have
I
it.
think logically it makes
But
it harder.
it's not hard to, it's not like
It's not impossible.
men don't want you.
I
What was
agree
it
that
like?
it's not that men don't want you, but it is with any filter that you add, it's going to make the dating pool smaller. So the people that don't want that are automatically opted out because there are guys that don't want to date someone who has kids and vice versa. So
course.
I think it does make it harder, but it's not impossible. Because
Yeah.
not to say
I
that they're
mean-
simps for dating you, but like there are simps out there that'll tolerate like anything for a crumb of coochie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah, but there is men who are literally like, who is gonna want you as a single mother?
you just attract different guys. You either get the really virtuous ones, or maybe you get ones that have like a certain way about them. Like it just attracts different men.
Yeah, some guys are like,
But it
okay,
is
I don't want to
smaller.
date someone who already has kids, and some guys are like, they're really attracted to that you being a mom.
Yeah,
for whatever reason
But I
they
think any
have.
filter, like anything, like even if you say like I won't date obese people, right? That's gonna automatically make your dating pool smaller. If you say
Yeah,
like
I
I'm a
know
mom.
girls who don't have kids, but they're just attracted to dads. They just like dads. Like they
Yeah, a
think
lot
dads
of
are
women
hot.
do like that.
Yeah, which I do too.
Because it, reflects what women tend to be into, and they're looking for a protector and a provider, and a good father is, that's what it represents.
Right.
Versus if someone already has a kid with somebody else, that means that, okay, the dad is going to be in the picture regardless, because whether you like it or not, like, kid is somebody else's kid.
Would you guys get married to or be in a long-term relationship with a guy who has children? If he was like perfect in every other way.
I am.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it.
What about you guys?
Possibly. I mean, I don't know if I'm infertile or not, but I've had medical struggles. So, I mean, if he's the perfect guy and we got married and everything, you know, worked out well, I would probably.
Yeah, when I was younger, before I had kids, I was in a relationship with someone who already had a child.
So can I get a raise of hands? Like, who would date a guy, given he's like perfect guy otherwise, if he had a kid?
Not a preference,
Well,
but not a
obviously
deal
me.
breaker.
Not a deal breaker.
Not a deal breaker.
Not a deal
I mean,
Not
my
a-
fiance has a daughter.
I mean, I used to think that it was a deal breaker until I was like, okay.
I don't trust you.
Aside of that, whatever.
For me personally, it's a deal breaker. Unless I had kids, then it wouldn't be.
Well, let's ask the two men here, unless any of you identify as a man.
I do, by the way.
You identify as a man?
Yeah, I'm a man.
Whip
you can
it out.
change it whenever you want. Those are the rules.
Those are the rules, I guess.
Whenever I want the men's restroom.
So would you, given the option between a woman who has a kid and a woman who doesn't want a kid, which would you prefer to date?
Who has a kid and a woman who doesn't want one?
No, sorry, excuse me. A woman who has a child and a woman who doesn't have a child.
Generally the one who doesn't, but it depends on how old you are. Like obviously the older you get, and if you're trying to get someone relatively in the same age range, it's going to get harder and harder for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So generally no, but if I'm like 45, like it's not going to be feasible, probably. I mean,
Well, if you don't have any kids, you know, you can.
I guess, but like
You
you're
could
gonna
probably get it like.
It will, I mean, are you at the
30s.
point where it's like if you're that old, like how old is their kid? It's not like they're one, so they're probably gonna be 17 or 18 at that point, maybe 13, 12, something like that.
Sure.
Like,
Well, are you dating guys who have kids themselves, or
I mean, like, I prefer that because I feel like they just have
they understand?
more of an understanding,
Yeah.
you know, and just the maturity level that comes with being a parent is attractive to me.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, at least for me, it's certainly not ideal to, no offense, to date a woman who has a kid. And I think most men who don't have kids themselves, it's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Not an
also,
ideal move.
It depends on your age range. Like, when you're older, I mean, in your 50s, 60s, and you get remarried, I mean, in the dating league there, most people have kids, so it doesn't really matter. But
well, I suppose you get,
Usually by your
I mean,
30s.
you
you're
get,
you're
having
a
kids.
little younger, but, you
Yeah.
know, you still have time.
Well,
Well,
so
as a
my mom
man-
never had a problem. So my parents got divorced right before I started high school, or they broke up right before I started high school. My mom had 3 kids living at home. She never had a problem finding a guy.
Same with my grandma. She had a kid, and she married a guy, and he had, like, a couple kids, but that was way, like, you know, like 15 years later. But when she first divorced her husband, she didn't have a problem dating at all.
I think it really depends on how crazy the baby mama or baby dad are. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know you guys don't like that. But, okay.
But that's what they are once they're separated, right?
Okay. I don't know.
I mean, we make fun of
That's
guys for
appropriate.
like mansplaining.
I
Are
don't
y'all
know.
kind of women's-splaining right now? Like, sorry,
Yeah.
but
I just think it's a
What?
suboptimal move as a guy who doesn't have kids to date a woman who has kids.
I think that applies both ways. Because
Yeah.
for
Sure,
me,
I agree.
I think I might be the only girl at the table that I view it as a deal breaker because I don't have kids. So
Just
I
a
would,
little closer to the mic.
because I don't have kids, I would view it as a deal breaker. But I think we also have to consider that people are a whole package, right? We don't get to like pick one thing and you take it for what it is for the most part. People can improve, but that's one of those things. It's like, do you like the person enough to have that as one of your cons? Is it worth it to date them? But for me, it's always a deal breaker as of now, unless I had children later in life or something like that. So you can't pick and choose. You get what you get. You
But-
can pick and choose your partner, but if you see someone you like, you can't just be like, oh, I don't like this one thing about them.
exactly.
So it really depends
Because
on the age
that
and
used to be a
priorities.
huge deal breaker for me because I'm like so not ready for that. But it's just I'm like, okay, it is what it is. Like yeah, okay.
But
okay, hold on.
He's worth it.
Just to bring it back to your thing. So you said you wanted to debunk the myth that men don't want to date moms. But when it comes to just optimizing, you know, your potential match, hold on just a sec.
I met
Emily
men,
Rainey donated
not like young
$150.
boys who are